Hello, this is we are at Dim Sum Labs. Dim Sum Labs is a hack space in Hong Kong, and today we're doing a talk on VJing using Touch Designer. So Touch Designer is a visual composition tool for real-time animations and real-time VJing. It's used by a lot of artists in different fields, but I use it for real-time projections. So what I would usually have is very similar setup to this: a projector, my laptop here, and I would actually do live editing of the code, kind of move the scenes as they occur. So I might have like a basic animation happening, but then I tweak it live depending on the mood of the event. I do sometimes have prepared stuff as well, but this is a great way to demonstrate the capability of this tool just by taking a sound input and doing something interesting with it. So we'll start off by kind of explaining the tool. This is Touch Designer. We have this kind of general working area, and then we have the properties panel. So if we kind of get rid of all this default stuff that is why does that work? Let's see. There we go. So we'll start with a simple thing, an image, a shape. Let's go for an image. So we have a couple of, with left click, you can open the menu, and then you can add operators here. And you have a couple of types of operators. You have texture operators, so anything related to images, channel operators, so this is anything related to sounds, solid, I think they're called solid operators, or shape operators. So this is anything to do with 3D, materials for the 3D side, and data. So we'll stay with the texture ones, with the image ones, and we're gonna bring in something simple like an image, so movie file in, and this is kind of the default video that comes in. So with this, you can take the output of this node and connect it to our output node. So there we go. Now we have a banana on the screen. So if we zoom out, we can actually turn on kind of presentation mode. And is this not scrolling down? Perform, there we go. So we can do this as a separate window, and it showed up on the different screen. So now this is kind of what we would just have on the screen. It's not that interesting right now. So if I close this and we go back into our project, we can do something a bit more interesting to it. So the first thing you can do is we can have a normal kind of signal that does something interesting, and we're going to modify this image using this signal. So we're gonna modify it by moving it around for now. So let's go insert, and we're going to do a transform. So you can kind of type it in, and it gets highlighted. Maybe I'll increase the resolution a bit. Is this going to ruin things if I change resolution live? Brave world. We're gonna try here. Let's see. Can I actually edit this display?
Sorry, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So this is for designers, or?
Yeah. So it's for anyone who wants to do any sort of visual editing. You can do some movie generation, or you can do some animation. Yeah. So for example, I'm just going to be using P to kind of hide that properties panel, but we'll be coming back to it. So I just wanted to show this a bit better. So we have our movie file. We're going to apply some transform operations and then output it to the main screen. Now we have to connect this signal to the transform. So let's look at the transform for a bit. We have a few options here. We can translate. So translate means moving it in the screen, rotating the banana, scaling it, so making it go bigger and smaller. We can set a few more things here that we're not going to look at right now. So what we can do here is we can actually go in here and type in some property changes. Let's do rotation here because probably rotation is a bit more obvious. Let me actually grow this. There we go. So here in rotation, I can actually move this slider, and you can see it's rotating the image. So that's a nice one to actually play around with to start off with. So let's try to add that signal into the rotation. So to do that, we can click this Viewer Active button, and that kind of changes into a mode where we can grab the channel, and we can grab this channel and drop it over the rotate, and we can make it a reference. So you can see that channel operator reference. And now you can see it's kind of moving slowly. So that's great. It's not very exciting, but it's something, right? It's a start. So before we continue, we obviously need to do something with this signal, right? It's not exciting enough right now. We can either go in here and change the amplitude, and that kind of is a bit more exciting, but it's got a limitation here. And we probably don't want to mess around with this too much. There you go. We can make it a triangle, so that's a bit more sharper. And at the end, we can make it a ramp, so that kind of goes, rotates, and then twitches back into position.
What would happen if you had a different image on the right-hand side? Say a banana on the left, banana in the middle, banana on the right. So if you had a different image on the right, does it change into the other image, or is that not?
So the movie file is what the image that we're editing is. So then we're putting it through a transform, which modifies only its position, not what the contents of the banana is. And then the out is just goes to the out of the screen when we're doing proper presentation mode. So that's not very exciting, as I said.
So what is this sort of this top and this thing on the top there, right? So that's some sort of driver? Or
Yeah, so that's a driver. You might call it a driver. So in this case, it kind of takes terminology from the music industry called LFO, so low frequency oscillator. If you've ever done any synthesizer, you would recognize this as a. It's basically an oscillator. You can have all kinds of interesting signals. So we'll look around at some interesting signals in a second. What I wanted to show is a few other things that we can do with the signal. So before we do that, I want to add one type of operator which is kind of very basic to everything we do, which is the null operator. It does nothing. It just picks up the inputs and shows it and does exactly the same as the input node. The reason this is useful is because you can see now our LFO is connected to this. But if I want to modify the signal before I put it in here, I have to now disconnect this connection here and move it to the next element. Whereas if I take this channel instead of, if I take this channel and put it in rotate, you can see now the connection has moved. And now I can do all kinds of things here before the signal actually gets used. So for now, I can do some maths, and we can connect that there. So here in maths, we can actually multiply. So now our banana is going absolutely crazy. And you can do some other things. I don't know, what would be an interesting one? Let's say if we move to ramp and we change this instead of rotate to so instead of the rotate here, so here's where if you click on it, you can select the expression. So this is the reference that we've kind of dragged in. We can put it back to kind of 0. And then let's move the translate instead. So we'll put it here. And now you can see like it's flying off, right? So that's why we need these kinds of like adjustment nodes. And we can do a pre-add to kind of make it come from the left. There you go. Now,
another question.
now we have a moving banana.
Is it possible in 3D?
Yes, yes. So that's all these kind of nodes. So if we go to add operators and we do SOP, you have all these things like sphere, cube. Where are they? There's circle. Should be an actual cube here. Yeah, there you go. So you have sphere. So you can put down a sphere and do the kind of same transforms using this kind of visual language. I use less 3D. I should use more 3D, but like I prefer 2D because it's just simpler to work with. And yeah, so now we have this kind of simple animation, and the next thing that I usually do is I bring in sound, because as I said, I work as a VJ, so I usually work with some sound input. To do that, we need to bring either a microphone or a audio track. So let's see, audio file in would be a good one. Should I try and duplicate? Nah, that's all right. We can keep doing this. So you can see that has a file that we're not hearing because this is just the audio file in. So we can add an audio file out and connect that one up. Sorry, not audio file out. We need audio device out. Audio device out. So hopefully, I never get tired of this song. It's the default song. I never get tired of it, I swear. Anyway, so this is just a generic song, hopefully not copyrightable, so we can put this video up later. And we can now do something fun with this. One of the interesting things that we can do here is find a tool on the left side on the palette in the tool section called audio analysis, and this does all the analysis for us. So if we go in here, you can see it's a very complex setup with even more complex things per element, right? So luckily the people have already done the work, we just use it. So we can grab that input. You can see here we have our load mid highs to detect, and then we also have kick and snare and rhythm, so if we're looking for those things. Let's look at this low signal. So again, I always start with a null because we always have to manipulate the signal in a way. So I'm gonna drag that in, and you can see now those signals that we saw in that panel view are available here as well. So our low, mid, high, the other ones are just disabled, so we can go in here and turn them on. And you can see that it's doing a bit more analysis, obviously with a bit more cost. So what I usually would do here is I would select the particular signal that I'm interested in. So I would go, let's say mid here, and you can see it selected it, and I would also rename it because if I ever want to move this to low, it would also change the, so if I remove this, for example, it also changes the name here, and then when I reference it, if you remember here, it references it by the channel name. So then you would lose that ability to reference it, to maintain the reference. So let's rename that. We'll do that channel. So now I have an output of channel here, and let's do something exciting with it. Let's put it to bounce on this side. Right? We have a jumping banana. I'm not sure if this is what I actually want, right? So again, usually what you would do is you would put some maths in here. And again, pre-multiply, make it disappear under, and now it's like on a jumping banana, and then we crank up this, and hopefully it should, what's happening here? There you go. So we got crazy banana there. Right? Let's bring it down a bit because it's a bit too excited. Right? So that actually brings me to the next point. Sound signals are quite fast, so we want to maybe smooth them out before we use them. So then we can use a filter. And again, it comes back to these ideas of sound processing, signal processing. So now we have nothing because the filtering is too strong. So we can actually reduce the filter width here and the effect to kind of give it a more smooth effect. Right? So we said we're gonna keep it to 20 minutes.
Can you see this in full screen now, or like?
On full screen, yeah. So what I would do, let me do something else because I would just want to show you what you would experience if you were at one of my shows. So you would, obviously I wouldn't put a banana, but what I would have is something like this. Actually, I haven't done it with Windows 11 yet. Let me just do the quick setup. So disable borders, move that to screen 1.
Sounds on ecstasy. I probably watched that banana all day long.
I know, right?
Great.
I know.
My life.
So, oh, why has that disappeared? Okay. Let's do it that way. Yes. So now I still have my screen, which means that I can now do live edits in here. So, right. Whilst you watch the banana, give me 2 seconds to set up something else. And then I'll do a little switcheroo live editing and stuff like that. So we got a noise, we do that, we do that. Let's grab this signal as well. It gets quite exciting because like you're kind of under pressure to set up something really interesting. So I get that signal and then I grab it, drop it in here. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. Divide by 3.
So it can,
meditation, true meditation.
Yeah. Okay.
so it can be something else than a banana.
Yeah. 1 second. 1 second. I'm just about to do the reveal.
Sorry, it was.
I'm just at
Joke.
right. Not select. What have I done? Switch. That's the one. So now we have, you know,
Oh, that's nice.
we have some crazy stuff here. And as you can see, it's kind of like also synchronized to the music, right? So we're using a noise, the same signal that we had for the banana,
Yeah.
but now we're accumulating, we used, let's see, can I actually show it? No, I can't. I need to press escape here, but, so I'll quickly show you what I did here. Let's make this nice and big so you can see the example. So we have this noise texture that has you're obviously seeing a 2D image, but we're calculating a 3D noise. So it's a noise that is continuous over 3 dimensions. And what we're doing is we're pushing through the 3rd dimension, and therefore we're seeing this kind of movement of the shapes growing and shrinking. So that is driven by our signal that we had before, but we're also accumulating that signal so that instead of having the image continuously moving through that space, the signal pushes it forward just a bit. Every time there's a beat, the signal gets pushed a bit faster. And again, we have that null in case we want to modify something that's available for us to then reroute the different things. So here, if I don't want that speed, I can drag this in, and you can see it's very twitchy. Too much is doing too much, right? So, but I still have that link, so I can do these things live, these live edits. Yeah, and then I added a select between them, so I can actually go in between the different views. So I can still have my banana here. I can flip the two. Oh, let me see. Let me do a few more things. So I can do composite. So instead of switching between the two, I can blend between the two. With the banana being on top this time. So let's just delete that one. So now the banana has the noise applied to it, but that's not quite interesting. Yeah, it's a very rotten banana, isn't it? Usually you'd go for something like over. So now you have those two composited because the banana had the transparent background. Yeah, that's kind of basic introduction to the tool. I have like a whole 1 hour talk about like how to make more interesting signals for this kind of stuff. But for now, that's kind of it. Any questions?
So you did this program?
No, I didn't make this program. I just use it.
Sorry, wrong question.
No, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. I'll just kill this because it's so annoying. There we go. No more.
I thought at some point you dragged in this component. Was it this amplifier or something, or this mixing thing?
Yeah.
And then you just wanted to know what's in it, and then you just zoomed in it.
Yeah.
Right?
So you
And
just
then
zoom
can see how
in.
it's built.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, that's quite amazing.
Yeah. So these are the different components, and you can make your own components. Usually, especially once you get to the point where your graph has maybe multiple elements that you switch between, you want those kinds of encapsulation to simplify the view that you're working with. So you have your banana jumper, and then you have your noise element, and that's all hidden nicely behind components. I mean the one that my partner always uses. Let's bring that sound in, but let's just kill the device so we don't need to hear it. Is this one here on the, I think on the colors, where's image filters? So you have a lot of image filters in here that are really cool. RGB delay is the one that we use all the time, and that gives it such a kind of, it's a simple trick, but it's so trippy.
Oh my god.
Uh,
I'm losing my shit.
yeah.
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 Very, very much.
So you can bring that down, and obviously if it's less movement, it looks a bit better, and yeah. So
So when's your guys' next DJ party?
Yeah.
find me someone who invites me, and I'll do this stuff. We used to do kind of like all night events. So this stuff, because it's kind of sound reactive, it can keep the entertainment going for hours.
I know someone who goes to parties like that all the time.
Well,
Taking a video for him.
yeah. I'll do the present mode so it doesn't look as bad.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you able to put the music back on?
Oh yeah.
I can send him a video and be like,
Yeah. insert operator device out. Let's put that in, and then we do perform.
It's great animation.
That's so cool. Okay, so when you do these parties, do you have like big screens all around and stuff, and then you?
I mean, if someone gives me the budget, I would love to do that. I have very mobile setups because my parties used to be quite small but quite quickly set up. So I just show up, put a projector up, set up my laptop, and just perform with no DJs or stuff like that. Since then, I've actually gotten into light production, and I've done stage shows and things like that. So you can drive lights from this software as well. So it's not just animations and videos. You can output to OSC, to DMX, to all these kind of light control systems or other devices that take different signals. So it's quite flexible. I'm part of a collective called GPU Junkies, and a lot of my other colleagues are working with AI at the moment. So they're doing, they're taking, for example, camera inputs and editing them, sending them to the cloud, bringing back, and having something like a mask over the person's face. To kind of give them a little story time thing, saying like, I would like to be a zebra, and then generates a zebra mask, for example, and some other really cool stuff. As I said, this is kind of what we do for parties when we're too lazy to actually prepare something in advance. We do have quite a lot of material prepared in advance, so when we do bigger shows and stuff like that, we come with nicer things than just jumping bananas. But jumping bananas are also fun.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, and the fun thing is that you're playing. You're not just like pressing play. You're actually doing stuff. You're listening to the music. You can bring elements such as do I have my I do have a really exciting one, but I don't have a video of it with me. But maybe I'll dig it out after we stop recording.
Yeah, so I mean, this was a static sound, but in real life, you mean like just listen to whatever you produce.
Yeah.
So
So I have I can instead of this audio file in, I can add a microphone, so I can add an audio device in, and if I connect it to exactly the same signal, audio analysis, now it's waiting for. Let me move to maybe the mid or high. Yeah, so now it should be picking up my voice, and obviously we have some filtering happening there, so it's not that exciting. Voices are mid, right? Something like that. Let's just get some clapping, right? So you can get a crowd clapping, and we can jump the banana together.
There you go, laughing to it.
Yeah.
Like in,
Exactly. See?
Monsters University.
Yeah. I should maybe like bring let's see if I can do text, and we say here laugh, if I can actually spell it, and we add it to that composite. Let's see, we want to add some transparency. How do I do that? Transparency. I want to bring something in. This is live composition. There we go. Let's do it the lazy way. Composite with black background, the constant color. So there's a lot of these kinds of setups where you're like trying to figure out what you're doing. So no, I'll do a switch. I don't know how that works. So we do a switch between a black background and the laugh, and then we put it in our thing here. Can we make this alpha 0? alpha 0. There you go. So that's still transparent. So now if I turn this switch, this should show the index. No, why is it not indexing? Let's move the switch all the way up. So we have, you can see it says laugh there. We can obviously give it a lot more detail, but I'm not gonna do that because this is just trying to be fancy. Can I give it a different color though? Color, there we go. Let's make it a horrible red. Right, and now we connect it to our laughometer. And as I said, we can have two of these devices. Two of these, so one goes into our music and one goes into our audio track. Let's put a multiply here just in case we need it later. Sorry, math. And we need the select as well. See, this is why you always put a no, because you never know what you forget. So let's do that, and then we do a select. Select, yeah, select. So we do mid here, we do channel here again. We grab that channel, we put it in our switch, which was here, and we put it in there. Right, so now hopefully every time someone laughs, let's bump this up a bit. Yeah, so now as soon as we have a bit of voice, the text should be showing up very, very slowly, right? Oh yeah, we need to turn this on so that kind of smooths it in. And then again, what do we need to do? We need to put some filter to, let's see, let's put a filter just before here to kind of let it hold a bit longer. Again, it's already becoming quite spaghetti, but it's good enough for now. Right, so yeah, we have the funny banana, and every time we laugh, that laugh sign will show up. Right, so it's very easy to kind of like manipulate things, but you can also see what's happening. Like, you don't have to explain different functions to people. It's just visual, dragging in different components, and you can always kind of follow the logic of what's happening.
Can you connect this to sort of things that are maybe not possible by the tool? Let's say, for example, if you actually want to detect laughing, right? Like we have some speech recognition that differentiates laugh from other noise.
Yeah, you have, depending on what kind of output you want. Let's say you want just a trigger signal or something like that. You can have a script here, and that's just driven by Python, so you can put whatever you want in here. You can put even C++ stuff. What else can you put? Like on this side, you can make your own GLSL stuff. So you can write shaders if you're so inclined, with obviously inputs coming from your different sources. So I think I tried to make a wave simulation, like a sound wave simulation using this. And again, the inputs would have been some other inputs from here, and it's just easy to do the hard work in code and then do the fun stuff in this kind of visual editing style. Yeah.
Is this free, this tool, or?
So it's free for with some limitations. It's a proprietary tool. It's free for 10 licenses. So obviously that's quite a few licenses, and you're limited to 1080 by 1080 outputs. So if you're doing big screen projections, obviously that's out of the question. You have to pay. It's fairly cheap, I think, 200-300 pounds. So affordable to get a full professional license, and you can do 8K with that. So as long as and you also need a powerful computer, so like it's priced fairly well, because I'm doing 60 FPS here, but as soon as I add a few extra models, a few extra things, it does like blurs and things like that really take it out. So So if I go RGBA blur here, let's see if I can get it to drop under 60. Oh, I've just gotten a new computer, so maybe it's not that bad. But yeah, I'll show a few things that I've done once we've turned off the camera. But yeah, thank you so much. If there aren't any more questions.